I'm a very bad person.
Yeah.
Look my shoes. I'm very bad. How do you find the internship at Socially Powerful? That's an actual question.
I love it. It's my favorite job so far. With the other jobs I did, it was kind of just like help where they just needed you, so you never knew what you were doing. But here I feel like I have a plan. So I'm like kind of like working towards, like I start and I know that I'll finish with something that I actually like. That I did something that was like kind of my job.
Yeah, that's your little project.
Yeah.
And you feel like
much more
ownership, right? And accountabilities. Yeah. You know, as a young professional, when I started my career, I started not with shit jobs, but I had like good roles, but I started to do like very time-consuming tasks, you know, which wasn't that enjoyable, but needed to be done. And I just focused on doing them very, very well. So to build like trust with my superiors. And then they started to say, okay, this man can do the basics right. Let's give him more responsibilities, you know, and develop him and so on. And I think for all like young professionals, it's the same thing. They always start with something a little bit boring, but you need to do it very, very well.
From what I've heard, I think it's nicer to start in one of those big companies because you kind of get to meet so many people. You know,
it's good for network.
Yeah, so I think it's like a good place to start for maybe a year or two. Because you have like everyone's new from university, right? Because they hire so many people. Yeah, so you like meet so many people and kind of build networks, and then everyone kind of just like leaves to startups.
Yeah, that's a good journey actually. You do 1 or 2 years there.
Yeah.
So you get like the fundamental right, and you become a well-rounded professional. And then you join a startup and you can add value straight away. Those environments are very sterile, structured, a little bit too structured. So there's a very limited space for like creativity or entrepreneurship within those big corporates. Let's say you see an opportunity, for example, to write a point of view on the work you did with one client. The process just to get approval to start the work, to write this point of view, takes like months. It's a bit too intense. I don't like it. So as part of the vlog, we want to document our journey. But we also want to educate and inform our audience. And therefore, we decided to try to reach out to senior leaders within the marketing industry and interview them, get their point of view on the current trends, and perhaps get a little bit of coaching for our very, very young startup. So I reached out to Patricia online, and I told her, look, so I reached out to Patricia. So I reached out. There you go. So I reached out to Patricia, asking, we love to meet you. We love to get your point of view on the industry for our YouTube channel. When are you around? Yeah, I went to the gym last week and the lace broke on the right part. So I went home and I said, okay, I need to find the lace now. And I just found like a white lace and I just put it in. I said, well, it will do at least a couple of weeks. Okay, then we'll change. And I had nice shoes for this meeting. Yeah, in the office, I forgot to wear them. I'm so used to wear those blue shoes. It feels so comfortable.
So do you use these for the gym as well? Double purpose?
Yeah, I have maybe 10 pair of shoes.
Yeah, but those are your favorites.
Yeah, exactly. I don't, even like my friends, for example, today, look, what I received.
They send you a picture of these.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good.
Hello.
What's your name?
Nicole.
Nicole, nice to meet you.
How was your flight and trip? And
Not bad. Not bad. I just flew from LA to here. And,
so you are going on holiday?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm going to Malta.
Yeah.
For but the flight's at 7, so I've got a long way over. So I'm glad this worked out. Thanks for coming. I'm Patricia Galea, and I'm an executive VP at Search Optics. We're what's called a performance marketing company. My job is to help develop strategies digital media marketing strategies for my clients, and then I oversee those accounts. And I've been in this field for over 20 years, so from the early days of the dot-com days in the mid-90s.
Okay. What about your previous life?
My whole career has been in LA and San Francisco from the mid-90s to today. Well, I started at Accenture 20-some years ago, and then immediately, that was in the 90s, immediately wanted to work in digital advertising marketing, which was very new at the time. So I worked at various ad agencies on the West Coast in the US, overseeing their digital ad campaigns. For a number of years, I worked at Disney at their headquarters in Burbank in LA, where I oversaw digital product strategy and digital advertising strategy for Disney channels, the TV channels.
So as a company, we are seeing this shift in attention from traditional media
Sure.
to digital. No worries. For example, in the UK, people are shifting from watching TV to spending time on Netflix. They are
Sure.
shifting from listening to the radio to spending time on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be a little bit extreme, and people are stop to talk to each other.
Sure.
And then talk to each other on social networks.
Sure.
When someone calls you, you don't want to pick up the phone. You just like go call me back or send a text.
Sure.
And I think that brands are facing a challenge. They need to change their ways to do advertising and to market new products.
Sure.
So what's your view on that?
Well, it's absolutely true that it's all changing, and just, you know, the traditional approach to inserting an ad, you know, that interrupts a content experience those days are pretty much over. And now it's really about not so much thinking about your ad as an ad, but really about your ad as content that is relevant to that experience that your target audience is interested in. To me, that's the whole shift that's happening, and we're seeing it in every industry. And what's happening now is that brands are starting to understand that that's the shift that we need to make. But now it's how do we get better at it, refine it, and start to measure the impact from doing those things, because it is a very different model to create content and then to see, okay, what impact did that content have on that target audience? How did they engage with it? Does that actually lead to a conversion or sale? Did it get them down that purchase process? I think the top challenge is the media and marketing landscape. The media landscape is more fragmented than it's ever been. You know, every consumer touch point has different platforms, different ways of measuring engagement, different ways of connecting with those audiences. A lot of advertisers, brands are drowning in data. You know, there's a lot of noise. It's just, honestly, I think the challenge is getting the arms around it and making sense of it. But the fundamentals are still the same. It's about how do you engage your audience and get a message across to them about your brand that's relevant to them. You still need to target the right audience to be efficient, and you still need to come up with an effective message or content. So those fundamentals have been around for decades, and they're still there. So it's being able to simplify the campaign, if you will, so that the strategy is still sound and that the execution is still strong and that you're able to understand the results. To me, that's probably the biggest challenge. I'd say the second challenge now for marketers, for CMOs, it used to be that you just would kind of do a lot of planning and then execute a campaign and put it out there and kind of call it a day. Now that's just when the work starts. What separates good marketers from great marketers is the ability to optimize that campaign, is to take the data, how your customers are reacting and responding to your content, to your ads, and how are you pivoting? How are you making your media work harder for you, your message work harder for you, your content be more engaging? That, to me, is what truly separates good from great marketing.
And so a recent study has shown that 90% of CEO are dissatisfied with their CMOs. That was quoted by the HBR. What's your view on that? Is it surprising?
No, I mean it's been known for a while that at least in the U.S., I think it's just that this was primarily in the U.S. market, that the average tenure of a CMO was 24 months. So kind of is along the lines of the CEOs, not 90% of them not being happy with their CMOs. But I think what that tells you is that if it's across the board that 90% of CEOs point the finger at their CMOs, I think maybe the expectations might be a little bit too high. But there's so many factors to success. It's not just marketing. You have to have a great product. You can't market your way out of a bad product. Rarely can you do that, at least not long term. It takes a lot of things to be successful, and there's a lot of shiny objects in marketing. You know, things that are new and interesting but may not be effective. So I think CEOs have to embrace that it's a two-pronged approach to success. One is focusing on the fundamentals of really just solid marketing, and then it's also at the same time having an appetite for some experimentation, some risk of failure, because that is our space. You know, sometimes you do have to try a new, novel way of reaching a consumer.
The other aspect is that often the roles or the role of a CMO is not clearly defined. Yeah. And it can cut across such a broad role, you know, from putting a strategy, a branding strategy in place to the performance side, and touching on the CFO, you know, field or zone. And so I think like that's where like the challenge is as well.
Do you think, you know how she was talking about the putting focus on a certain industry? Do you think you should be just focused on one, or do you think we should
I think we should focus on
more?
One or two. But as I said, like 80% of your efforts towards one or two industries. But you keep like the 20% to perhaps broaden. Mm-hmm. And so maybe like the third priority might be, I don't know, sports. But otherwise it's going to be too niche. You know, you just do like gaming or you just do tech. I don't think that's the best strategy, because you learn from the other industries as well. And there's like transferable learnings.
But don't you think maybe if you like become really big in one industry, you know, because you put a lot of focus onto it, then it's easier to kind of like expand into other ones? You know, because you become really known in one and then...
Yes.
I don't know, I just like...
Yeah, you know, that's a valid point. I think that's... The response is around like, you need to have a balance. I don't think becoming an influencer marketing agency or a full social service agency just within gaming might be the answer for us.
Do you enjoy gaming? Or would you rather do something else?
No, I enjoy it, but I think we should do a little bit more than just gaming. But we're doing a little bit more than just gaming. So definitely you don't want to diverse too much. You don't want to work across like 10 verticals. But having like 6, 5, when 2 are like the main focus, I think that's healthy.
You know, that's like my signature with like a pineapple. Like I have the pineapple logo on all my golf balls. Like golf
really?
bags.
So we'll put a pineapple for this vlog, like really? Dancing. Yeah, of course, you can do it. You can do that, right? And let's finish this episode the John Olson way. Yanni, that's our Yanni. So,
ciao.
There we go.
Does that work?
I think so. Done.